And we're finishing with the final practice balls of match play. Thanks for running back in, joining us. Nice quick turnaround. Tournament staff Michael James, Glenn Schwant are on top of things again, as we are ahead of schedule by a few minutes, getting this match play underway. We'll give you the full field rundown. Once practice is completed, we'll give you all the matchups you're going to see here. Teams are now assigned into two pods. We'll just call them A and B. I was going to call them the $2 fill division and the rogue division, but we can't do that. They won't let us do that. Actually, they give rogue top billing. It's in their contract. So it'll be the rogue division and the $2 fill division. But we'll just go A and B on your pods. We already know two teams that are in the stepladder finals as your number 1 and number 2 seeds. Your number 1 seed with a score of plus 243 was Dave Barris and Chad Moss, multiple-time winners of this event in the past. And with a big move the last 2 games for Cam Crow and Landon Jordan, mostly on Landon Jordan's part, he really caught fire. At a score of plus 230, Cam Crow, Landon Jordan are your number 2 seed in the stepladder. So we have 8 teams battling for the final 3 stepladder spots here from the lanes on 20. Once again, we want to thank H5G. H5G Brands for their primary support of this live stream today, and the support of Lando's Pro Shop here inside of the lanes on 20. Holiday specials aplenty, with all the new releases out there for Lando's Pro Shop. Check it out next time you're in the area. Check out the Facebook page for Lando's Pro Shop as well. All right, so let's get you underway, as we should be taking to the match play lanes momentarily. Your lane assignment on lanes 15 and 16. This will be 2 teams that are in the A pod, with 6 seed Billy Hibbert and Matt Hibbert taking on 7 seed Eric Pollock and Alec Keplinger. And once again, we'll be bouncing around between all the pair feeds here on the Strike Central feed, but you'll be able to watch every pair in play with the ambient audio by selecting those feeds on the 10 of the deck landing page. Full doubles team games. And I need to get correct lane assignments, because the bowlers I see here with the lane assignments on the sheet are not correct. All right. The matchup's right. They're on 17-18 for Hibbert and Paula Keplinger. We'll get over there. It was a last-minute adjustment, so we didn't use 13 and 14 or 23 and 24. So this match is in your A pod as well. Jeff Snell, Brad Snell. They're on lane 15. They're your A and double A. They're battling Colin Smith. They're battling Chad Kloss and Will Welch, your B and double B respectively. Over on 17-18, we already mentioned this matchup. Also in the A pod, Hibbard against Paula Keplinger. Hibbard are your B and double B. Paula Keplinger, your A and double A. Next door on 19 and 20. Your first matchup in the B pod. Brother battling brother. As we've got Kyle Zagar, Riley Smith, who are your number 9 qualifiers, battling the number 4 qualifiers of Matt Gasson and Ryan Zagar. Gasson and Ryan, your Bs. Kyle and Riley, your As. And our final matchup here on 21 and 22, also in the B pod, Theron Mitchell Jr. and Jacob Hubbs are your A and double A, battling Dylan Schaefer and Matt Duty. Your number 5 qualifiers, your B and double B. So there's no individual head-to-head matchups here during match play. It's simply your team total against the other team's total. 20 extra bonus pins if you take down the win in your match. Obviously, they'll split the pins 10 pins apiece in the rare case of a tie. And once again, 3 games of match play within your pod, no position round. The highest pinfall pod winner will be your number 3 seed in the step ladder. The other pod winner will be the number 4 seed in the step ladder, and the second place team with the highest pinfall total out of the pods will be the number 5 seed in the step ladder. All other teams 6 through 10 will be taking home the same amount of money on that prize list. $500 per team. Joining me in the booth, Rogue, Foppe, and Rogue. Looking at the payout of this tournament, now you finished 6th or 10th, you're getting the same amount of money back. You're getting $500. All teams are starting at 0 pinfall to start this round. How does that affect you as a competitive bowler if you were in that situation? Your outlook getting into match play, along with any what you might do for thinking through equipment changes as these lanes continue to transition with this 44-foot pattern that has not been re-oiled since this morning.
Honestly, to me, my biggest thing that would come into my mind now, because watching through the 5 games of qualifying, so many spares were missed, whether that be you saw someone leave it and they just threw the ball. Now it's important to sit there and go, all right, like, for example, we have a split in front of us. I would do my best to, yes, get the 2 pins for count, but try to pick it up. Like, if you can make those splits, that's going to give you such a huge advantage. Making these spares are going to be crucial now. Yeah, strikes are, as my high school coaches would tell me, strikes are cool, spares are better. Like, there's so many times probably, and it happened yesterday too, where teams were in cut, started not making spares, you jump out. That's going to be what makes or breaks this now. That's going to be where my mind goes. And to even play it safer, spare ball would be coming out every spare shot. I wouldn't try to risk it with reactive with how these lanes are transitioning anymore. Sometimes they chop it, sometimes you don't get them all. I would just be very smart about our executions now.
So coming in at 0 for everybody starting this game, it's just going to be the 3 game totals plus bonus pins. Ball change, if you're thinking about a ball change, it's probably time to make that ball change, is what you're saying. Not try to force through it for an extra shot or 2 and maybe make a little different line
I would have
change.
even been thinking of it end of game 5, looking at how the lanes are playing, going, all right, do I think a ball change is needed? Or if, say, finished on the high end, if I finished before the people on this side of the house, walk down over, see how they're bowling, see what their balls are doing. That's why it's also so important, even for someone like me who is on staff with one specific company, you learn all the bowling balls so you can see how ball motion is, so I can make an adjustment.
So all these teams will be moving between pairs after each match. So they'll hit 3 of the 4 pairs in play during match play. They're not going to repeat on a pair. That's very important. And I know that they were making sure that match play schedule did have that happen. Once again, your matches right now for teams that are in the A pod are on 15, 16, 17, 18. B pod, your matches are on 19, 20, 21, and 22. And we'll get you a quick scoring update turning around. Actually, with only 8 teams, obviously it's going to be pretty quick for Michael James, Glenn Schwant to get things turned over. I know they're finishing verifying the hundreds of singles and doubles brackets that were run during the event. I mean, if you're a bowler, you're watching from afar, or you know a bowler that likes to bowl with a lot of side action, this is the event to do it in. You've got yourself. They ran brackets for games 1, 2, 3, games 2, 3, 4, game 3, 4, 5. They ran doubles brackets the same way. Yeah, you could drop a bit of coin on the side action here today and maybe make yourself a few bucks. I would love to see what Cam Crow's overall payout was.
I was watching them when they were putting in their money. I was like, good God.
Yeah, Riley Smith as well. Riley Smith was 174 over for his first 4 games.
Well, did I ever tell you about the story running into Liz Johnson at Nationals for brackets?
No.
First Nationals out in Vegas. We're in the squad room. See that they have the screen rolling with notable people in your squad and stuff. See Liz's name pop up. I put my wallet away. I'm like, I'm not. She is the GOAT. Like, I'm not doing this. All the guys in my squad are like, well, we got this. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're being silly. We're in behind her at South Point picking up the brackets. Ma'am, you got to fill out the sheet because you earned more than 10K. She maxed out with the 5K and walked out with 13K.
Yeah.
For team.
Yep.
And, like, my doubles partner got, like, 104, and I looked at him. I'm like, Did you learn your lesson? Did you learn your lesson? Like, there are people out there who you see them and go, I'm just going to put my wallet away.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I understand it's only 3 games. It's not like you're bowling a 42-game event against Liz Johnson. They say it's only 3 games, but yeah, it's only 3 games that you can lose a lot of money in.
It's only 3 games against Liz Johnson, who makes everything look good and roll amazingly. And I love Liz, though. She's so sweet.
So Jeff Snell and Brad Snell, they're your bowler B on 16. Brad had some issues during qualifying. Jeff really carried that team. Jeff, for his first 4 games, was 154 over.
Dang.
So they ended up finishing in the number 3 spots. Jeff must have had a really strong finish, and Brad found something as well. As they're bowling Chad Kloss in your A spot, Will Welch in your B. A little unusual that Welch is in the B spot. I'm not sure it's because of how they were assigned. I think they have to bowl in the same spots. Let's see here. Yep, that's how they had them assigned. So you continue to bowl in the same spot that you were assigned in. So it could be up to Will Welch and Jeff Snell to close out a game. Usually you'd want the experienced Wiley PBA veterans. I mean, Brad, long time PBA career, to go with Chad Kloss, who had some time on the PBA tour back in the aughts. And Jeff Snell gets them all to go. But they are finding themselves down early here in our opening of 3 matches. Kloss falls away from perfection, but still manages to keep the lead. We're going to wait for a re-rack there. There you see Duty. Well, he gets a bit of a break. Goes from Greek Church. Gets a couple extra pins on the count on that double, but it's going to be tough to spare up. As Duty and Schaefer, your B and double B. Battling Jacob Hubbs and Theron Mitchell Jr. Those are 2 of our teams in the B pod. Slight early advantage, and we're talking single digits for Mitchell and Hubbs. 2 pins basically right now. No, actually it's a tie, looking at it. 60, yeah. Tie match through 6 frames.
I'm glad you can do math quickly.
Yeah, I didn't have many friends when I was a kid, other than a calculator, so.
I'm sitting here yesterday doing the stream going, okay, if he strikes out, I think that's 10, 24. Yeah, that'll get him 280 or just something like that. It was just not clicking yesterday.
So we got Cam Curl already in the step ladder, so that's 1 lefty. Got another lefty here with Mitchell. Got another lefty with Brad Snell. And I
could we have a lefty
here's
step
another,
ladder?
and Pollock. So there's 4 lefties out here. Is Pollock? Wow.
Ooh.
246. So 4 lefties out of 20 bowlers. It's it's not a bad ratio.
That'd be cool to have each team in the stepladder have a lefty.
It's 20%. Well, we got 5 teams in the stepladder, so we can have 4 in the stepladder.
Yeah.
All the lefties could make the stepladder. But I think it goes to show the lane pattern they used for this event. Played a little tough.
Yeah.
But also pretty equitable for both sides of the lane, because, yes, Brad Snell made it, but he needed to really put the saddle on his partner.
Yeah.
With Jeff Snell. And, Eric Pollock. Let me see what Pollock ended up with here. I didn't get the final. I only got the team standings through 5. Pollock was pretty balanced. He was 67 over through 4 games, so at a 215 average. So, but yeah, nice balance between lefty. I mean, 20% of the bowlers in the championship round, let's say match play and now the stepladder, left-handers. So I think it's a pretty good balance. It's not too much one way, too much another. Hey, Chad Moss. How do you handle waiting for the one spot in the stepladder? Chad's my hero. Yeah. Chad's got it right. Support the establishment that you're in for 2 hours. It's a beautiful thing. So. Yeah, good. What do you do to stay loose?
Easy access off the freeway.
Good. Yeah. It's about 7 minutes east of Interstate 94. So, but like physically loose. I mean, we're all getting a bit older over the years. 20 years ago, you could bounce back pretty quick after 2 hours and stuff. So.
I'll be taking some more shots here in a little while.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch and see what everyone's doing.
Did they open up here up for you on the other side of the house so you can stay loose? Okay. But they're going to, I hope? Okay.
We're still an hour away, so
Yeah. Okay.
it should be good, and especially again, good tough crowd on Sunday.
Yeah.
Should be a good stepladder finals for the folks.
Yeah, so keep tuning in, and he's your one seat with Dave Bears. They've won this event at least 2 times before that I know of. Yep. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing him make it number 3. Good luck to you, man. Thanks, Chad. One of those times where I wish I had the third headset. But good insight. I mean, good insight from Chad there. You know, you just, hey, support the center. There's a lot of the bowlers that are still hanging around watching. For those of you, we appreciate you watching from home from afar.
Ooh.
As Pollock trips the 4-6.
Bottom tripping them, too. I know I talked about it with Norm Duke over the summer, but do you have a favorite type of strike? Like mixer, light hit, flush?
I like the one where, me being left-handed.
You're lefty?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. I like the one where the 9-pin would stare at me for that half a second, and then something would come, like the stone 9, and then something would come across the deck and take it out. That's my favorite. Like, you hit it so pure on the head pin that it moved the 5 out, it moves the 5 out of the way. The head pin gets the 5 out a little bit, and you hit it that flush, and then something comes off the sideboard to take it out. Because you don't get a stone 8 for righties, stone 9 for lefties by throwing a turd.
No.
I mean, it's dead flush buried in pocket, but just how the head pin reacts, where if you watch a lot of the 8 pins for righties in slow motion, if you watch, part of it can be the rack as well.
But you graze that pin.
Because Belmo actually called the solid 8 when we were at Holler House a few years ago, but I'll get more into that. But if you have a perfect rack and somehow you manage to hit flush on the pocket, and the head pin gets back and just hits to the left side of the 5 pin, moves it out of the way, and then when the ball hits the 5, it takes it straight back and misses when it normally would take out the 8 pin. So, and Belmo actually had a rack at Holler House because they're set by hand there. It's the world's all this, and it was, the 5 pin was just off slightly to the right. I mean, just ever so slightly, and Belmo saw it, and he turned around, and everybody goes, I'm going to 8 pin on this shot. I know I'm going to 8 pin on the shot. You could have asked the kid to move it, make sure it's on spot.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm going to 8 pin. Stone and 8 pin.
Oh.
He goes, I just knew. He goes, I could just tell. What PBA Tour guys see on the lanes and in the pin deck and all the other stuff is just a separate world from what us mere mortals do. And there's a lot of these guys out here in the lanes today that are seeing the same thing that we might not see, that we might not have the eye to see yet.
It's an entirely different world from watching back here versus being up on the approach and looking at the lane.
So Pollock and Keplinger in a tight game here against Hibbert, and that's going to help keep Pollock and Keplinger. Let's check in on our match over on 15-16. I thought that was Kyle Troop walking out for a second with a ray gun, but no, that was like a cartoon air bubble for the spaceman there. Klaus and Welch. That ends. I thought Klaus had it must have been
It must have been a strike, but it was a late falling.
Could be. I know we cut away for a re-rack, but a great game there by Chad Klaus, but it's being offset by a somewhat mediocre performance by Welch. They're still ahead in the game against Snell and Snell. As Snell of the Jet variety can get to 220. Brad Snell can get to 242. Kloss already in the 240s. And yeah, some work to do for Will Welch. It's I don't want to say it's a mandatory strike frame in the ninth for Welch coming up. It's going to be pretty close.
Ooh.
Wow, and Kloss hooks past. That could be fatal to the 20-pin bonus this game. And you know it's going to happen. You know it's going to get to the last game and somebody's going to go, oh, we missed a spare, we lost 20 bonus, and there's we turn around the other way and get 30, we're in the step ladder instead of taking home $500. Snell can't get the 6 to go, so that'll help out a little bit. But yeah, it's seen Will Welch step up and throw a few when he's needed them in the past. He needs it for sure here to keep the 20 bonus pin hope alive. And Welch can't get it to go. It's another re-rack. Late fall, you see that pin bounce over, slide just a little bit. That was the 7-pin. And went out of the scorekeeper's sight and swept away. We'll see if Snell picks this up, and then we'll get over to our match on 21 and 22. As we're in the 10th frame. And, you know, looking at the pairs on this side of the house, I would not want to bowl my last match on 21 and 22. I'd want it out of the way early like we're seeing for these teams. Duty looking to make the 2-pin. Oh, and he hooks in front of it. Wow.
Wow. And this is why I say I only use my spare ball in these situations.
Yeah.
You cannot trust the reactive on burn shots.
So Schaefer up now. He can get to 203. That needs help.
Go.
Yeah, you get it too far right. Remember, this pattern initially was 43 feet in length, and those outside 5-6 boards weren't touched by a lot of bowling balls today. And if they were, it was by polyester across lane on spares.
Yeah.
So this one's going to come down to who shows up and performs in the 10th frame. Theron Mitchell, you're going to see him stepping up here on lane 21. Chance to get his team in there, and that one comes up light. And the 310. Huge washout conversion here for Schaefer. As that would keep him up by 13 against his opponent at a minimum. His teammate might be down by 22 if we get a double out of Hubs on his first ball in the 10th. And yikes, yeah, that could be the end of the 20 bonus. Mitchell picks this up here, and it's pretty much match over. Quality cover, hooks into both pins. So it's one of those times where I hate to say it, probably wouldn't have been so good using polyester on that shot. I mean, do you usually hook into your baby splits like that? If you, in that case, it would have been a 2-7 for you as a right-hander. Or do you?
I'll use poly.
You'll just chuck it up
Anytime
the left side?
No, I'll go cross lane.
Oh, cross lane at still, okay.
I, the few times I have tried using reactive to shoot left side like that, I chop it or I miss it all entirely.
Yep.
Rarely do I not use poly to shoot. I've even trained myself to shoot at buckets with poly, depending on the condition.
So Keplinger, flat 10. So you can get to 2-teen max, so they'll be under for their game. Hibbert finishes at 194 of the Billy variety, now the Matt variety. They're going to take the 20 bonus this game, and they probably are going to be leading their pod. even with that open frame. Yeah, he's in the 240s. He had a chance for 279. Next door, you see Riley Smith bowling with Kyle Zagar. They were leading qualifying for a couple of games and pulled their way back into the field a bit. And Smith with the struggles this game. Hey, we got team totals up there. There we go. So Smith needs to make this. Well, then again, I don't know if Ryan Zagar is going to make his 3-4-6. I mean, a win here, a spare here for Smith is a lock.
I still hate that spare to this day.
And he gets them all. Yeah, if Zagar doesn't pick this up, and that's Zagar of the Ryan variety, that means Kyle Zagar, Riley Smith will take the 20 bonus. So a lot of pins riding here on one shot. It's one of those 30-pin swings. That can really change the momentum with 2 games of match play remaining. Does he like it? Nope. So 7 or more out of Smith. We'll get the 20 bonus for that team. Guarantee you it's never easy.
I don't know when I'll see you next, but maybe in May, right?
To get 7 when you need
Maybe
it.
the latest.
Smith, former ITC champion at McKendree. Former teammate of A.J. Johnson. And other than the college being the same, AJ and Riley both live in Kenosha. AJ with his pro shop inside of Surfside Lanes. Is it 7? Oh, it's a lot more than 7. Clutch shot there. So lane movement will get you matchups momentarily as our second, as the graphics department takes a minute off. 2025 Heartland doubles are hit. The lane's on 20. Thanks again to H5G Brands for their support. Get those Christmas gift cards. Any size fits a gift card. And they can order custom jerseys, accessories, and PBA swag at h5gbrands.com. And Lando's Pro Shop inside the lanes on 20. Holiday specials coming in. All kinds of new releases hitting the wall as well. Check it out here inside the lanes on 20 at Lando's Pro Shop. Match number 2 coming up after lane movement.
Good enough for 9. Good enough for 9. That's about it. Good enough for 9. Have a great one. Sherry, have a good one. See you later. Next spot. All right. You're in. You look like two. That's 6. You know that your 4 would be my 6 pin. I'm like going. You threw the ball well. time.
You're not talking. I paid you to talk.
Scores to talk.
You didn't get scores?
I think it scores after the first game.
Sorry about that. I didn't even think about that part.
All right, so here we go. We got our score update for Pot A. Our winners with Klaus and Welch against Snell and Snell in Game 1. 456 to 398. Welch and Klaus are second in the pod as Matt Hibbard's big 244 game against Billy Hibbard, or with his partner Billy Hibbard's 194. They're at 458 with the 20 bonus pins, 396 for Pollock and Keplinger in Game 1. Over in Pod 2, we saw Riley Smith with the big fill ball after the failed conversion of the 3-4-6 by Zagar of the Ryan variety. That has Riley Smith, Kyle Zagar in the lead in that pod with a 419 after the 20 bonus pins. Ironically, second in the pod is Matt Gasson and Ryan Zagar. They're 395 enough as the match between Schaefer and Duty. They took down the win against Mitchell and Hubbs, but only 369 for Schaefer and Duty to get the 389 with the 20 bonus, and then 368. So 1-pin victory is a 20-pin swing for Mitchell and Hubbs. All right, so our matchups this time around, we're just underway here, and there's a few strikes being thrown in 17 and 18. You've got Riley Smith. And Kyle Zagar. They're battling Thron Mitchell Jr. and Jacob Hubbs. Smith and Zagar, your bowler B, and Mitchell and Hubbs looking to make a big move early as they've both started with 3-baggers. Next door on 19 and 20. We've got an A-pod match. Jeff Snell, Brad Snell against Billy Hibbard, Matt Hibbard, keeping it all in the families there on lanes 19 and 20, and with that strike by Matt Hibbard, a decent early lead for the Hibbard clan. Over on 21 and 22, the other A-pod match, Pollock and Keplinger. They're your A and double A against Klaus and Welch. Klaus and Welch currently second in the pod by just 2 pins behind Hibbard squared. then your final match going on in the B pod, Matt Gasson and Ryan Zagar. Coming off a loss to Kyle Zagar, Riley Smith, battling Schaefer and Duty. So as we mentioned, Schaefer and Duty got the win, but they actually find themselves behind in the standings for that 5th and final spot, as 395 the total put up by Gasson and Ryan Zagar. They wouldn't get that wild card spot right now because that would go to the 456 of Kloss and Welch. So once again, if you don't win the pod, you can still make the step ladder by being the highest second place scorer. Here from the Lanes on 20 in the 2025 edition of the Midwest Doubles. Let's check in on Pollock as he comes light. Definitely does not like lane 22 at the moment as he opened there in the second frame. Let's see. Well, the striking ended for Mitchell. We'll see if it does the same for his partner. As Hubbs on the front 3 and the failed conversion by Mitchell Jr. might let Zagar of the Kyle variety and Riley Smith right back in quickly. Problem is, Kyle Zagar with a full whiff on the 8 count. Riley Smith looking to get a 3-bagger on the board. And Smith gets the turkey. Matt Hibber looking to stay on there as well, looking for 4 in a row. And that one, that was interesting. He got the 4-pin to trip, but that ball looked like it hit the lane. Stopped hooking and also like found some mid-lane hook or something. And continue to go. You ever see ball motion, Rogue, that sometimes kind of you think are your eyes deceiving you, where you see a all of a sudden the ball starts to get down lane, all of a sudden it makes it like a jump in the mid lane type of thing with transition. You see that very often, and you don't see it really often on house patterns.
Yeah, I mean, I had a ball recently, I threw it, and it almost looked like it went right when it hit the, we'll call it slob in the back lane.
Yeah, you expected the hook and it just dies. Just doing a little housekeeping there with our tournament director, Michael James. I remember Brad Snell bowling on tour when I was in high school. I don't want to divulge Brad's exact age, but it's somewhere between 50 and dirt. But man, he looks good. He still has his pro shop in the suburban Chicagoland area. Still very active in the sport of bowling. He loves the game, and he's given back a lot over time too. Remember, his pro shop used to be in the same when it used to be in AMF Hoffman Lanes in Hoffman Estates. Now a long disappeared bowling center. I believe it's now a car lot or whatever it might be.
There's too many bowling alleys going away.
Well, there's a front 5 on the board. Jacob Hubbs giving the pins the business. Riley Smith looking to keep his team close. Not sure how much longer he can keep up that particular back lane motion, but it's tough to generate that much length and having the ball ease into the pocket, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to use the oil in the front part of the lane to get the ball to get length, because obviously if he tries moving right now, it's going to spark at 15 feet.
This is when palming the ball might not be a bad option. A little bit.
Define for the viewers that might not.
Trying to figure out how to word this properly. Giving the ball a little bit more push off from your palm area, basically. So everyone always tries their hardest to, obviously, ball motion and roll comes from the two fingers, giving it as much as they can. Easing up on that little wrist snap, trying to give a little more push motion rather than hip motion. And my lunch is ready. I will be right back.
Be right back. See, we were talking to Chad Moss. Moss and Bears are #1 seeds in the step ladder. Rogue's going to make friends walking behind the bowlers in match play with a beeping pager as she starts to run to get rid of. Yeah, every head turns around in the settee area. There you go. Oh, man. Anyway, back in the day, good friend of the show, Jeff Riggles at 11thframe.com, he talked about how at events, if he was having too much hook, he would have he'd take his ring finger out of the ball and do what he called the two-finger sling, which was just his middle finger into the thumb. And if you think about that, in the days of bowling back in the early 1900s, you looked at bowling balls from that era, it was a finger hole in the thumb hole. And that's how bowlers rolled the ball. Well, if you take your ring finger out of the ball, you can still generate plenty of revolutions, but you change your ball track to a higher ball track. Now with the USBC rules where every hole in your bowling ball must have a digit placed into it, you can't do a two-finger sling unless you actually have a bowling ball drilled with just a finger hole and a thumb hole. One other thing to keep in mind as the messenger misses for Smith is that back in the days of shellac and pin boys and that type of thing, the two-finger bowling ball was multiple purposes because of where the weight would be in the bowling ball. If you notice, most of those bowling balls, they had the same size finger hole and thumb hole. So the bowler would look for a different ball motion as Dylan Schaefer gets a crumbler cave in there. They would rotate the ball 180 degrees. All of a sudden, your finger hole is now your thumb hole is now your finger hole. And it would change the look of the ball motion on those shellac lanes back in the day. Because shellac was so soft, you could actually etch in with your fingernail into the shellac. And that's why hard rubber balls were used. Because if you used today's bowling balls, they'd hook in the gutter at 15 feet. And so just all the changes that bowling has made since the ABC was created in 1895 is just incredible. Scott Payton is not in. Peyton Naback had a 300 earlier, but his team missed the match play round. And it wasn't by a lot. He and Alex Peglow just outside the top 12 when all was said and done. So Dylan Schaefer and Matt Duty getting run over right now by Gasson and Ryan Zagar. We saw Ryan Zagar at the 5th game of qualifying have the front bunch, front 9. And Zagar of the Ryan variety now sitting with the front 7. Matt Gasson looking to get a 5-bagger of his own on the board after a slow start. The 9 goes, the 4 stays. Not a lot of pins for Gasson and Ryan Zagar to make up to get in the number 1 spot in the B pod, as they lost their opening game by just 4 pins. So down 24 to Kyle Zagar and Riley Smith. And the good news for Gasson and Zagar is that they're making a move while Kyle Zagar and Riley Smith struggle a little bit. And the big start also now for Jacob Hubbs and Theron Mitchell, who are 6th on the, or pardon me, who are 4th in this pod. They're 59 back. But once again, if you can't finish first in the pod, you're the highest second place finisher. You're making the number 5 spot in the step ladder. Smith gets to go. Let's check in on Ryan Zagar, looking to stay perfect through 8. Staring it down. Oh, baby. All witnesses disappear to that assault by the bowling ball. And the front 8 for Ryan Zagar will have Jacob Hubbs looking to get the front 7 momentarily. We'll go back to that pair. And the bounce back strike for Gasson. Kyle Zagar finding trouble, and they are not going to be holding that lead in the B pod. Three hops, a bounce, a skip, and nothing takes the 8-pin for Mitchell. Schaefer and Duty finding trouble here. Zagar is going to defer to the other Zagar. Get back to Ryan Zagar as we'll check in on those A-pod battles momentarily. And yep, Ryan, he has no problem hitting the restart button if something doesn't feel right. It's Paula Keplinger, currently sitting in last place on the squad, 60 out of their pod. Klaus and Welch were your leaders, but 21-22 is not going to be a fun pair for anybody the way this is starting to shape out. But Welch and Klaus with a pretty big lead. Wow, when you see Pollock starting to use some left, that must mean the right-handers have drifted plenty left on that pair. And the lefty needs to clear the fronts. I can imagine our bowlers in our top 2 spots. Zagar hasn't thrown yet. Ryan Zagar hasn't thrown yet, so you're not missing anything there. But Barris Moss and Cam Curl and Jordan, I'm sure they're all very happy knowing that the stepladder pairs, even though they're not going to be freshly oiled, they'll have the remnants of this 43-foot tournament pattern. They're not going to be as chewed up as these match play pairs currently are. Wow, Matt Hibbert just left a vicious 7-10 on 19 and 20. We'll go down and take a peek at that momentarily. But wait and see what Ryan Zagar can do here as he gets the hurry up from the snail on the scoreboard. I don't think there's any reason to hurry right now. You're on the front 8 looking for the front 9. Take your time, be patient. And the 7-pin and the 10-pin both stand. Well, both these players, with Hibbert of the Matt variety and Zagar of the Ryan variety, have the ball speed to do some bouncing, and we've seen some pins here at the Lanes on 20 today make their way firing back out of the pits. Matt Hibbert going to give it a fire here. 10 says not this time. And a little air back for Ryan Zagar. It doesn't happen. And we may have new leaders in the B pod as a great game going on here for Theron Mitchell Jr. and Jacob Hubbs, as Hubbs now on the front 8. Jacobs did just the blemish in the 4th frame, or pardon me, Mitchell Jr. just the blemish in the 4th frame, and he'll have a chance to get into the 220s with a full ride in the 10th. We'll stay here for Hubbs. As Hibbert of the Billy variety. Can't get the 10 to go. So Snell and Snell not having a big game here. Matt Hibbert slowed down a little bit after the front 5. There you see Hubbs, front 9. Could be a big move in the B-Pod standings for Hubbs and Mitchell Jr. Best way to move up the standings? Bowl the leader and go. Bowl the leaders, bowl a bigger score, get some bonus pins, and just do the old Linda Ronstadt on them, the old Blue Bayou. Yeah, it's a great game. I actually know people that do that with the take a drink every time I say of the variety. See, it usually doesn't happen too often. You bowl PBA events, everything. There's usually not that many bowlers with the same last name. Well, geez, you look at this round alone, you've got, you know, a pair of Zagars. You got a pair of Hibberts. You got a pair of Snells. We've got our variety, that's for sure. It always gets boring just saying Ryan Zagar, Kyle Zagar. Hey, let's throw a little variety into it. So I do. Yeah. Well, the Hibberts are already called by their dad, son 1 and son 2, number 1, number 2. So by their ages. So looking like a victory for the Snells. Might be going away after that open in the 9th by Brad Snell. Definitely know that it's going to be a win for Ryan Zagar, Matt Gasson this game. That should get them up into the lead in that pod. And Kyle Zagar, Riley Smith trying to stay close, but man, you get somebody that puts up the front nine against you like you see here. With Jacob Hubbs, tough to keep pace. Oh, how often do you see the 7 take out the 9 on a light hit like that? That should have been a 3.79 for Kyle Zagar, but the ball speed and power. 3 falls, something comes back over, takes out the 7, 7 falls into the 9. Wow. That's what speed and rev rate will get you nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. So unfortunately, the 152 by Billy Hibbert is going to push them back into a non-advancing spot with 1 game of match play remaining. And once again, it doesn't matter. I mean, the format here, bowlers should be taking a bit of a risk on the basis of it doesn't matter if you finish 6th or you finish 10th. You're taking home the same check. You're taking home $500 as the paralyzed 5. Head pin off the sideboard or the 2-pin froze up that 5-pin, didn't get over near the 7 for Matt Hibbert. And now Mitchell Jr. just getting out of the way. Let the teammate handle the heavy lifting here in the 10th frame. Had 1 300 game earlier today during qualifying. Peyton Nabak on 27 and 28 took down Perfection. You're not actually ordering one from the bar yet, are you? Matt Duty walking by the booth. And how fried are they getting out there, Matt? Yeah. So like a 20 board move, since you don't have kind of hand. Yeah, you wish you could make. Yeah, I get it. You wish you could make the 20 board move. I get it. Same way for me here. All right, let's see what Hubbs can do. Front 9 looking to get his team into the lead in the B pod. Make it front 10. Huge game here for Hobbs and Mitchell Jr. and they're easily going to vault. Even with a 51-pin deficit in the lead in that pod. They're at plus 100 for the game, even with the bonus pins, even if Hobbs doesn't strike here in the 11th frame. And it's going to be some tight competition to see which 2 of our pod leaders and our wild card second place team advance into the step ladder finals. It's all important to have the highest pinfall of our pod winners, as they will be the number 3 seed in the step ladder. Oh, and he gave it all, and at least he got the 9 out. He got half. Would have been better for the last shot. 295. You don't see those too often. I got to see one in person with Anthony Pepe, the first PBA tournament bowled at South Point Bowling Plaza. In the Plaza, the TV finals back in 2014 at the World Series of Bowling. Pepe started that telecast out the front 11 for 295, and he held it all together. Sometimes you get the momentum let down, the mental exhaustion from trying to be perfect, but Pepe took down his first and only PBA Tour title in the event that christened the South Point Bowling Plaza. So we got player movement coming up next here from the Lanes on 20, our final match coming up after that player movement. Once again, thanks to H5G Brands for all their support of live streaming. Get those Christmas gift cards out of the way now. And thanks again to Lando's Pro Shop here inside the Lanes on 20. Christmas specials aplenty there as well. Match number 3 coming up next.
They were live streaming their tournament on YouTube.
That's cool.
No, at this time of the day, I forgot. I've done that and totally forgot. I blanked out. Trust me. I can see the brain fry a little bit. I've been there. Let's get you introduced to your players here in our third and final match play match. We're getting to our final 3 seeds in the step ladder. Step ladder will start about 20 minutes after we conclude match play. It'll be a brand new feed on the 10 on the Deck Productions YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, appreciate it if you did. And then you'll be automatically notified when we go back live momentarily. So your leaders. Unofficially, in your A-pod, are Hibbard and Hibbard still, even with the loss against Snell and Snell. Nobody in the B-pod really firing up things as they're at 830 unofficially for their total for the first 2 match play round games. 800 the total for Snell, and Snell Kloss and Welch. Actually, Kloss and Welch are your leaders. I apologize, as they're at 8:67 unofficially. Then Hibbard and Hibbard at 8:30. Pollock and Keplinger well out. Take a miracle game for them to make the A squad or the A pod finals. Huge game by Theron Mitchell Jr. and Jacob Hubbs. Has them at 872. But they're playing catch up to Gasson and Ryan Zagar as they are at 888. Schaefer and Duty are at 784. And Kyle Zagar, Riley Smith fall from the lead in the pod. They're still at plus. They're still plus 35 or 835, but they have some pins to make up if they want to finish on the top of the pod. So your matchups here take you across the 4 pairs in play inside the lanes on 20. Jeff Snell, Brad Snell. They're your A and double A against Pollock and Keplinger. So those are a couple teams, as we said, they really need to work things through, try to make it. Your other matchup, basically, for who's going to advance as the pod leader, barring miracles from those other two teams. Billy Matt Hibbard against Chad Kloss, Will Welch. Kloss and Welch in the driver's seat right now. But some early struggles here for Chad Kloss, back-to-back opens to start, and a hot start by the Hibbards could change the dynamics of our A-pod shortly. Over on 19 and 20, you saw a big game put up by Jacob Hubbs. Hubbs and his partner Theron Mitchell Jr. battling Matt Gass and Ryan Zagar. That leaves us with 2 remaining teams, as Hibbard did carry that strike as Schaefer and Duty against Kyle Zagar, Riley Smith. And some work to do for both of those teams to try to get the B-Pod championship. Foppe working hard, getting scores for us here. So we do have the official tallies in each pod. So they have pod 1 listed here, but it is we've been calling it the A pod. Take your pick. It's the number 1 pod. It's my favorite pod today. What do we got for our top 4 in order?
Top 4 for pod number 1. And first we have Chad Kloss and William Welch at 875 through 2. Second are the Hibbard brothers at 832. The Snells at 800. And Eric Pollock and Alec Keplinger at 717. Moving over to pod 2, we have in first place Matt Gazin and Ryan Zagar at 888. Second place is Mitchell and Hubbs with 872. Third is Kyle Zagar and Riley Smith with 835. And fourth is Dylan Schaefer and Matt Duty with 784.
So we're basically going to keep it here on this pairing because these are the 2 matches in each pod that are probably going to determine our automatic advancers. We'll keep an outside look if somebody gets hot on one of the other pairs for our teams that are in 3rd and 4th currently in those pods. We'll sneak over there, but there's some solid starts here by both the teams involved. So your pod 1 with Kloss and Welch. They're your bowler B and double B. The Hibbards are your A and double A. Billy Hibbard, your A. Matt Hibbard, your B. And then right next door, you got Matt Gasson, your A. Ryan Zagar looking to start with a big string again. Front 4 for Zagar is your double A. And then Mitchell Jr., your B. Hubbs, your double B. And Gasson and Zagar, boy, they've had a tear the last couple of weeks. Been throwing it well, taking a lot of money from a lot of bowling centers in southeastern Wisconsin. Looking to take a lot more today, but it's a little longer road because there's 2 teams waiting in the wings already seated in the stepladder from the 5 games of qualifying earlier. Chad Moss, Dave Barras, your 1 seed. Landon Jordan, Cam Crow, your 2 seed. So they'll start getting some more up once match play is completed so they can get loose again. Because they've been sitting around for about an hour and 15 minutes. Actually more like an hour and a half from the conclusion of qualifying. So it'll give them an opportunity to get loose once again. And a huge break there for Zagar, leaving just the 4-pin. So Hibbard and Hibbard need to beat Kloss and Welch by 24 pins. They get the 20 bonus, and they would be ahead of them in the standings. I don't think Snell and Pollock, obviously Pollock and Keplinger, they're down by 150 or so. I don't think they're going to make it back to the 1 spot. Neither team on 15 and 16 setting them on fire as the stuff set. Oh, it fell. It fell for Welch. Look at that pin pirouette fall. Yeah, you better smile about that, Will. As they're in a big battle right now because Billy Hibbard keeping the score sheet clean. Meanwhile, his brother Matt, as we saw yesterday at the H5G team shootout, can put a bunch of strikes together in a row, and doing that right now, looking for his 6th in a row. In that matchup with Gasson and Zagar, basically whoever wins is ahead, as they're only separated by 16 pins. And that's trouble for Mitchell Jr. And that's going to be a tight. Something tells me it's going to end up being a 10th frame battle on that match on 19 and 20. Don't fully count Kyle Zagar and Riley Smith out yet. They're down 53 to Matt Gasson and Ryan Zagar. And they're bowling over on 21 and 22. So if they can get a big game together, get 20 bonus for a win, they could pass a couple of teams here. And they're bowling a team that's basically out of contention with Schaefer and Duty. We'll wait for Hibbert to toss here, and then we'll get over to watch Kyle Zagar, they're going at the same time. Hibbard strikes Zagar. Light 310. And they are not putting up a big score at all against Duty and Schaefer. So we're going to stick here. If we start hearing some yelling and screaming from those outside pairs, we'll cut over, but this is basically your battle for spots 3, 4, and 5. And one other thing to keep in mind for the wild card, that number 5 spot, whoever was the highest second place finisher, highest pinfall second place finisher in a pod. Right now, that's advantage Mitchell Jr. and Hubbs by 40 pins over Hibbard and Hibbard. So it's pertinent for all teams to continue striking, because you could easily find yourself going from leading the pod coming into this game to the number 6 spot and going home with $500 and no chance at the step ladder. So the pressure is starting to build. Gasson. Off my side. Sonia Henny. Ice skater. Come on.
That went over my head there for a second.
Sorry, I just showed my age. Brian Boitano, is that better?
Oh, Jesus.
Nice shot, Brian Boitano. What would Brian Boitano do? Sorry, it's an old South Park thing. It's one of the best songs out of that movie, Bigger, Longer, Uncut for South Park. We bowled quick story, bowling the Pearson one year coming out of Class Lanes Greenfield on a bus, and we put on South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut on the bus. I've heard so many people laugh so hard, and I think our bus driver was in full shock of what was being said and sung about throughout that movie. Class looking for a double. There you go. Bowlers headquarters in Greenfield, Wisconsin for all your pro shop needs, as well as the lanes on 20 with Lando's Pro Shop. Lots of pro shop people in the building. Matt Gasson, owner of Top Notch Bowling at Castle Lanes in Racine and Foxy Lanes in Waukesha. Will Welch, part-time jeweler at Bowlers headquarters. Eric Pollack, I believe he's a pro shop operator as well.
Former pro shop operator.
Former pro shop operator. He was inside of Liberty Lanes in Carpentersville? Okay. Billy Hibbard, not a pro shop guy, school teacher. Wow. Are you kidding me?
What? And it's going to
Moved
sweep
it off spot. Look at that.
Yeah.
It was the 6 pin. That was the 6 pin. There you go. But hey, the strings. String pin bowling is going to ruin the game. Sorry. Off my soapbox for a moment. Yeah, these angles the bowlers are starting to use now, that ball is getting very pertinent motion on the back end. You start to see some stuff like Matt Gasson here with how often do you see a 278 out of a right-hander? How often do you see a pocket 6-pin out of a right-hander? I mean, you see them on occasion.
Very intrigued to see how step ladder is going to go on the oil that's been sitting.
Right. Getting flatter, getting tougher. There might be a little bit more in the front part of the lane, but how long is it going to hold? And now look at that. I wasn't expecting that ball to flatten out for Mitchell.
No.
He's been having that ball rock all day long. And that one just turned and got to 57 feet and said, no, my day's done. Thanks. It's probably time to look for another piece of equipment if you're getting that ball motion.
I'm going home now.
Yeah.
Ball's like I'm done for the day.
I'm done for the day. Put me back in the bag. I'll be resting till we get back in the car. We got to make sure they spot the pin right, too, for Billy Hibbard. They can't respot the 10 because it was a 6-pin. It's got to go back in its original spot.
Yeah. Well, that is respotted.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He was on the left lane.
It swept it.
That's
so.
correct. For some reason, I thought he was on the right lane for a second.
Oh.
Trying to follow 4 pairs of lanes and all the other fun stuff. I'm surprised Zager just didn't do a full. If you got to wipe your hand off on your pant leg, you might want to make sure it's fully dry with a hand dryer. Yeah, he grabbed that one a little on the bottom. And yeah, still, he went high, almost to 410. So we're going to have to start getting some math duties done here shortly. See which of our teams will advance. I like the comment. Peyton's still bowling. Somebody in the comment just went, Peyton hurt his back because he was carrying his team. There you go. That's why they make saddles for your bowling teammates, so they don't get hurt. You want to have some consideration for your teammate when you're hot. Give them something they can, strap to their back. Make the ride that everybody's getting off of them a little more comfortable. All right, let's check scores here. Anything big on 1 and 2? Oops, sorry, I cut away from the miss there by Hubs. Kepling, they were so far back, it really doesn't matter, even though Keplinger's got a chance to put up 280. Not going to be enough with the scores we're seeing right next door. Klaus and Welch, and starting to look more like Hibbard and Hibbard. As we said, they need to win by 24 pins in the match, along with some help, as they're in arrears to Gasson and Ryan Zagar for a bit. Hey, that 3 seed's important. That's a little more guaranteed money. It's one less match you have to bowl. As Gasson goes slicing through like a ninja.
Curious to see what the players have to say that make it to step ladder. If this side, that's when Sin's going to be easier for them.
Wow, Mitchell, I understand it's only a frame or 2 left, but that ball has just lost its back end motion a bit. Whether it's just getting early friction, because early friction can change your axis tilt and your rotation, take away some back end. As, wow, a huge break there for Welch to get a double. So both members of Klaus and Welch with doubles getting into the 10th frame. And Hibbard of the mat variety puts up a double of his own in the 8th and 9th. Exciting matches going into the 10th frame. This is what we love in the sport of bowling. One shot can make a huge difference. Whether a team gets a chance for victory or will taste the agony of defeat. Wide world of sports. The agony of defeat with the old ski jumper taking the tumble off the ski jump. Once again, showing my age, as Klaus can't take advantage of Welch's good break. Let's see what Billy Hibbert can do here. Hibbert can punch out for 224. Matt Hibbert, 279. Huge shot here for Billy Hibbert. If he can strike here, it pretty much is going to lock up. The B-pie, there you go, you see it right there. He knew it. He knew how important that was. It's Klaus with the cover, but that's going to max him out in the 180s. And I think it's all over but the handshakes and the hearty congratulations. Yeah, that bar dice game is going to end really quick when the step ladder comes around, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it isn't. Yeah, there's guys looking over now from the other pairs of lanes for match play. So I think it's a pretty high ceiling where we're at here inside of the lanes on 20 in this section. They got a great bar that actually they have a garage door that opens for the sand volleyball. So volleyball players just walk right up and get their drinks. But unfortunately with the high ceiling, it also makes sound carry and hard plastic dice cups and bowlers aren't good friends while bowling action's going on. So Mitchell can get into the 220s. Oh, only 2 there on the spare conversion for Hibbard. So that's 2:06, I believe. That score will pop back up again shortly.
2:06.
Yeah. But yeah, that one's pretty much over because Welch can only get in the 230s. It's 179 for Kloss. And now Welch can't even get there. So yeah, it's going to be Hibbard and Hibbard. Outside chance though for Kloss and Welch to get into as the wild card. We'll have to do all the math.
What did Klaus shoot? Was that 179?
179 for Kloss. Gasson can get to 195 here. I'm sorry, you can get to 215. And that's going to be a tight match getting into the anchor bowlers. Kyle Zagar, or pardon me, Ryan Zagar will be stepping up on 19. And Jacob Hubbs will be stepping up on 20.
Welch
201. So 217 for Mitchell Jr. 212 for Gasson. As we said, it's the winner of that game that's going to advance. As I don't see big scores coming out of Zagar and Smith next door on 21 and 22. Let's just take a quick peek. 4 Hubs Fires here.
Is that 58?
Yeah, not big enough scores.
Yeah, 258.
Yeah. So definitely we know it's going to be Hibbard and Hibbard into the step ladder. What seed they'll be, 3 or 4, yet to be determined. As Ryan Zager slices high. So he can get 235 with a spare and all you can eat in the 10th.
Lucky guys.
And now 225 possible for Hubs. That would put him at 442. So Zagar needs to make this. Zagar needs to make this to advance into the step ladder. What was the final total for Klaus and Welch?
1255. And then with the
Yeah, that's not going to be enough to get there. Mitchell and Hubs will now be the 5 seed. So unofficially,
Hibbard and them shot 13-16 with the 20 bonus pins.
okay, so unofficially your 3 seed is going to be Matt Gasson and Ryan Zagar. Your 4 seed will be Hibbard and Hibbard. And your 5 seed will be Mitchell Jr. and Hubbs. So opening match, Theron Mitchell Jr. and Jacob Hubbs, along with Billy Hibbard, Matt Hibbard. We're going to cut the streams now. You're going to have a fresh stream for the Step Ladder Finals in about 20 minutes. She's Rogue Foppe. I'm $2 Phil. We'll be back on the call with you from the lanes on 20 here for our stepladder finals. Thanks again to Lando's Pro Shop here inside of Lanes on 20 for their support of the live stream today. And thanks again to H5G Brands for all of our 10 on the Deck live streaming, whether it's local or on the PBA Regional Tour. We are happy to be bringing it to you. We'll see more striking coming up in about 20 minutes. Thanks for joining us, everybody.